Alright, bro, what's good with it? Today we're gonna be talking about how healing as a man saved my life. But listen, hold on, run my intro though. I need that.
Hey, yeah, no, I can't stand you. I might be all wrong, but for my heart, you were a bad move. Hey, yeah, it's like
Pain!
on my back, yeah, won't be back, but I don't know how to act.
Yeah, listen, look, okay, check this out. I filmed this video twice. The first time it was an hour, and the audio was like, just patched. It was over with. I couldn't use the audio. Hour and 40 minutes. Just filmed it again. Was about 30 minutes deep. All the old videos that I tried to film was too much memory in my computer, backing up my computer. So, well, it stopped. The file got corrupted. It just interrupted the filming. File got corrupted. Had to start over. So we're here now. And maybe that's my sign in a way to keep it short, because maybe I'm just rolling too much and giving too much. But anyway, today we're going to talk about men's mental health. We're going to talk about the stigmas. I'm going to attack things very hard, and I normally would take a long way around, so not to create too much confusion, but I'm going to keep it as simple as I can, not to alleviate no questions, because trust me, I'm very aware. I talk so long and so in detail because I'm very aware that if I keep things as simple as I can, they will actually elicit more confusion than others, than other ways. So I'm just going to do that anyway, and if y'all got any questions or are confused about, well wait, if you believe this or think this, then what do you think about this? Because that sounds like it contradicts, Farad. Can you explain this, what seems to be a contradiction? I'm just gonna have to make videos about all of that, and because I'm pretty sure people have questions. But listen, we're gonna get straight into it. Men's mental health, bro. The stigmas. Silence is strength, emotions is weakness. Be strong even when you got it. I took notes. I always take notes when I do these videos, so be strong even when you're not. Asking for help is weakness. Real strength versus fake strength. Anxiety, men's mental health is everyone's mental health. I'm gonna just go through the top of them. Silence is strength. That's like true and not true. The ignorant world that we live in. I'm gonna give you a rundown. The problem that exists in the world is it is that the human beings do not know themselves beyond physicality. If you ask them who they are, they're gonna tell you, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm good, I'm bad, I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm a Christian, I'm black, I'm white, I'm American, I'm Indian. Their ideas, their identity is based in ideas. Like it's only and you can prove this because none of these ideas existed before they had a body. They had to learn these things. They think that who they are is something that begun at a certain point because they see themselves as finite. They see the entire creation is 100%, right? You have 100% of all of existence, right? 100%. Now, you have less than 1% of that shit, like less than 0 some percent of it is like physical stuff. The human being sees themselves outside of creation because they see their perception goes no further than physical things. There is a lot happening right here, right now. There isn't, just like if you look at a rain, if you watch a thunderstorm, right, and you look outside during a thunderstorm, it's a million things happening. The wind blowing, a trillion raindrops falling, bird flying, rain hitting his back, and you can see the rain hitting the bird back, car going up the road, water shooting out from under the car, bugs flying. Like every moment of the entire existence. Every moment, there's only one moment. There's an infinite amount of things happen. Like right now in this room looks still, but the more profound your perception, the more you can see. Like there are infinite chain reactions of events going on right now to keep your fucking skin even looking like it's a solid object. The illusions of solid objects is nothing but where your perception stops as it relates to this. If your perception goes beyond physicality, then as far as the electromagnetic spectrum goes, which everything is on, you can go further up that. You get what I'm saying? Your entire experience is on the electromagnetic spectrum. But if you take your perception past physicality, then you see more than just the 0.00% of the physical stuff that's here. You start to see 1% and 2%, and you start to see things that do not reflect light. It doesn't have to give off light, bounce light off of it in order for you to hit your eye for you to see it. Because now your eyeballs, your ears, your nose, your mouth, and your nerves, your five senses, no longer are the only thing that you have to perceive existence, to perceive yourself. You get what I'm saying? You have a body. You are not the body. You have a mind. You are not the mind. And when I say there aren't separated pieces of these things. Remember, separation is birthed from ignorance. Everything that breaks something into a piece, bullshit. Everything is God. Everything is you. Everything is Allah. Everything is the universe. Before the Big Bang, there was the infinite. There was intelligence. Intelligence creates memory. Memory can only react to other memory. Genetic memory responds to genetic memory, and these cells come together and they do some shit. But the only thing that can create memory is intelligence. That's how you get a bright idea. Because you are infinite. That's why it's impossible to think of something that's not possible. Because unless you think your fucking mind is God and you're bigger than your brain, your mind is outside of everything and everything exists inside your mind. So, I can think of stuff that's not possible out here. I can do something over here that I can't do over here, but there is no over here. That's why it's impossible. Well, what's really happening is that the person hasn't come to understand this, so they still living in that world of it's possible, it ain't possible, it's good, it's bad. I don't do that. I know anything is possible. I'm just not trying to invent a fucking car, a crossbreed, a goddamn Honda with a horse, because I don't want to. I mean, if that's your dream, I'm very, very much gonna tell you can do that. Like, but I don't want to do it. I'm not doing it because it ain't possible. I just don't want to do it. So when we talking about silence is strength, like the people who, for one, created these ideas of what's what and what it mean to be a man, and everybody's describing what it mean to be a woman, what it mean to be a man, what it mean to be this, everybody that's giving you advice, whether they give advice about finances, money, kids, life, houses, friends. Everybody is giving advice from this perception, the perception that they are finite, that they are limited, that they are the body, that they are like they see themselves. Their identity is things that didn't exist. Their identity is shit that didn't exist for them until they had a body, because they think that they started existing at some point. They think their life started in their mother's womb when their body started, because they don't know who were they, who was I, did I exist before mama and daddy fucked, or did I start existing after they fucked? And because people don't have the answer to that simple question, this is why we deal with the shit we deal with. Abortion, murder, dealing with all these arguments about abortion or not abortion, racism, hate, violence, all these fucking things in the world comes from the fact that human beings have not definitively answered that fucking question. Who the fuck am I? When did I start? Or did I ever have a beginning? And do I ever really have an end? If all those questions was answered, you cannot fucking tell me that fucking mental health is the biggest problem in the world. Because mental health is like saying fucking, well, I got hand problems. Like, I mean, it's one thing to be born with a disability where your hand won't listen to you. It's another thing for the whole humanity to ignore their hands so much over hundreds and hundreds of years to where they don't even know. They just realized they had this motherfucker, let alone how to use it. And it just so happens to be the most powerful goddamn tool that the human body allows them to equip. What the fuck? Like, it's coincidental, but damn, you get me? So it's the exact same thing. These people are the ones creating the rules, giving you the help. And sometimes the advice works, but the advice of an ignorant man only works as far as his vision. The advice of an ignorant man only works as far as his ignorance. That's why a motherfucker can tell you all this stuff about how to be a man and how to be healthy and how to do this and how to do that, but nobody can really give you the answers, nor do they try. And they think that giving you the answers is a sign of arrogance, because they think asking questions is a sign of intelligence, because they fucking think that not knowing shit, being ignorant, is a sign of intelligence, because to be human means to be fucking limited, to not be complete, to be finite, to be not enough. That's why people interpret the words of Jesus, who came to tell people you are more than the physical world that you see. And they interpret that as, oh, I'm not enough, I gotta earn. You feel me? People literally see everything through separation, division, one or the other. And if it ain't left or right, guess what? It's in the middle, which is what? A third option, which is what? 1, 2, 3, which is what? Separation and division. Because none of them truly have opened their eyes to see themselves beyond all this shit. So that's why they can't see none of this shit beyond all of this shit. You get what I'm saying? And that's where all the fucking problems happen. Little kids don't know no better. They get raised up, taught to how to live, go out there, live like that. That shit hit the fan. But now they don't know why it's hitting the fan, because the people who taught you how to live told you this was how to do it. But you don't know why it ain't working. You didn't have the answers in the beginning. All you had was what they gave you. So they gave you some shit that don't work. Now you damn near 30 with some shit that don't work. You in pain and you don't got the answer. Damn, you might have figured it out from 1 year old to 30 if they'd have just let you stay curious and be confused about who am I, and just showed you how to survive. Like, hey, you ain't black, you ain't white, but in the world we live in, you know, your avatar is black, white, you know, blah, blah, blah. But this would take, you would have to have had a very wise fucking parent, a very wise leader, a very wise spiritual counsel. Like, you would have had to fucking had a motherfucker like that was saying the shit I'm saying now, or finna say in this video, and none of us probably had that. So that's where all the bullshit come from. So silence is strength. Silence is, ignorantly speaking, they say it's strength, because people think that if you just bear with the shit, because they see themselves as physicality, they think strength equals how much tension can you withstand. That is true, but silence in the sense of I'm silent because I'm ignoring what's happening inside of me, or I'm silent and I'm fucked up, but that means I'm strong. That's like a bullshit. You don't have to be silent to be strong. You don't have to be black to be strong. You don't have to be fucking 6 foot tall to be strong. You get me? Saying silence is strength because you're shutting the fuck up and just bottling up what you're dealing with, that's not intelligent, and that doesn't come from intelligence. What's in reality, silence is strength, but it's only strength when you can be silent consciously. And pretending that you're not stabbing yourself while you stabbing yourself, I mean, if you can stab yourself silently, that's not strength, especially if you wish you would stop and it's hurting like hell. Now, if you can stab yourself consciously and your body's in pain and you're no longer trapped by that, it's no longer something you're doing and don't know how to stop doing, but you just learn how to shut the fuck up through it, and I'm just dealing with it. Yeah, that's not strength. But if you're like, hey, I got these scissors, and I'm just like, and they like, Fried, is you okay? Like, no, I'm chilling. It has now become a conscious choice. What is silence is different. Like, I'm conscious. I'm fine. Oh, I'm not destroying myself. I'm doing this because I really want to do this. Like, I can stop. I genuinely can stop. Look. Okay, see, now let me start back. See, now it would be different if a motherfucker was like, hey, you hurting yourself? You going through mental shit on the inside and you being quiet? Yeah, I'm doing this because I want to. Okay, well, prove to me you can stop fucking with yourself mentally for a hot second. The person, see how I put them scissors down? Person can't put that down because it's not real. That's just ignorance. That's just a motherfucker telling you that's being strong, but they don't know what the fuck they talk about, and you know it ain't right because you fucking going through pain. So silence is strength in the context that people that the world say it based off the collective wisdom, dumb as fuck. Just like people when they say pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Like there is some sense to it because I understand the self-empowerment aspect of it. Mind you, I just said that the human being is life infinitely. You are infinite. You can do any fucking thing quite literally to any degree with any level of ease or difficulty that you wish. You literally write the fucking story top to bottom and all the narratives and all the knowledge and all. I know this to be a fact. Yeah, all of that. You write all of that. But I know the people that say pull yourself up by your bootstraps ain't saying it because they got some fucking profound wisdom. They're saying it because they're ignorant as fuck. And I'm seeing the truth in what they're saying. What they're seeing and what they're saying is actually some dumb shit. So, yeah, I mean, pull yourself up by your bootstraps because you can and you got the power. But when these people say it, yeah, they not saying it. They just on some other shit. They don't, you got people that's depressed telling you that shit. So, no. Silence is strength. Emotion is weakness. That's a lie. Be strong even when you're not. That's like, it's an oxy-fucking-moron. That's impossible. Real strength versus false strength. People, once again, they think of strength as in related to physical things. Like, how much destruction can something take? How much tension can something sit under? And I mean that, once again, that is strength. But it's only strength when it's conscious. When you're doing it consciously, it's strength. When you're doing it because you're fucking trapped and don't know how to save yourself, it's just, that's bondage. That's prison. That's jail. That's hell. You feel me? So, yeah. And last one was men's mental health is everyone's mental health. And the reason I say that, and I'm not done. We're finna get really into it. Men's mental health is everyone's mental health because, once again, the ignorant are trying to help the ignorant. That's why they came up with the term men's mental health because they see things as separated. Men's mental health is nothing but fucking human beings dealing with the consequences of not knowing themselves truly. But the difference is this group has been subscribed to a false identity under this is what a woman's supposed to be, and this group has been fucking brainwashed under an identity of this is what a man is. Both of these are false identities. Mental health issues are factually going to arise. It's guaranteed. The very minute that the child, the human being, is giving an identity, he is not allowed to realize his identity, truly realize himself. Because all that you do is you teach a child how to survive and raise him in a home that knows nothing but joy. Keep the atmosphere in the home joyful, conscious, and intelligent. The child will naturally have a curiosity about who they are. They'll never forget that. That's a natural longing inside of, that's life in and of itself. That's why plants grow up, roots stretch out. Everything, when nourished under the right conditions, it's the life, the last level. The last level isn't this physical shit. The most profound level goes beyond the physical. It's the life. That's God. That's spirit. That's you. That's the universe. That's everything. The rest of the 99.99 that goes beyond the fucking 0.5% that's physical, that stuff right there, that is the child. That's you. That's this and that's that and that's everything, right? If you teach the child how to survive, look both ways before you cross the road, don't touch the stove, whatever. Like, he'll naturally, his perception will stay clear. The lights will stay on because you haven't pulled the wool over his head. He'll see things clearly. He'll naturally do what, don't touch the stove because it's hot. Duh. Don't look both ways before you cross the street. Okay, I got it. Like, you teach him that, he'll learn how to survive. He'll adapt to all of that. But what he won't ever do naturally, this is what's taught, and this is the problem. He will never naturally prescribe himself to be, unless he had, mama, who am I? And you tell him, son, don't ask me that. You are me. You're everything. Don't tell him that. Fuck that. Don't even say that shit. When he asks, who am I? You tell him to look in here. Look in here. Look here. Look here. He gonna be confused as fuck his whole life. But what he won't ever do is say, I'm black. I'm a man. He'll have it. Hey, what's your race? I'm black. But when he go home at night, damn, who am I? Hey, where you from? Oh, I'm from China. Okay. He'll know what to do when to do it. Is the earth round or flat? Shit, I don't know. I ain't never seen it. But if he taking an ACT test, hey, is the earth round or flat? Shit, round. He knows what he needs to do to get what he wants. But he's never going to equate that to truth. He's never going to say, because I have this identity that allows me to function in society, it's who I am. Because that natural curiosity, that natural knowing, that natural indicator that kept that connection with God. That connection with himself. It was never severed. But what happens is, as babies, they sever that connection and they tell us, you're a man, you're a woman, you're this, you're rich, you're poor, you're over there, you're over here, you're here and they're there. Look, this is you and this is them. You're black, you're white. Your life is good because of this physical shit. Your life is bad because of this physical shit. You got money because you're white. You ain't got shit because you're black. You got everything because you was born in China and China is better. Whatever the fuck we talking about, they sever that connection. The connection is always there. You can't sever it, but they crowd the child's vision with so much ignorance that it becomes cluttered. The child's perception drowns in a fucking cloak of bullshit. And that sensitivity, that natural curiosity, that shit that was all you was born, that you had when you was born, that signal becomes so fucking weak. The rainforest of ignorance builds around it. And eventually when you turn 30, you have to look through that forest and be like, damn, it's something I came here to do. There's something else. And this is where mental health problems start. You start to get older, you start living by the rules. I'm a black man, yeah, life hard because I'm black. Or, I'm a white man, white privilege, that's why I'm doing good, right? Or, oh, I'm not, I'm a white man and, I don't have white privilege. And, it's these rich white people or it's these poor black. It's these rich white people or it's this everybody, that you living by the rules that you was taught to live by. If you racist, you like, yeah, black folks or Mexicans. If you black, you like, hard work, and I can do it. Like, I'm not no different because I'm black. Fuck what the other black people talking about. Or, no, my life hard because I'm black, but I'm going to still make it. Yeah, I'm a man. Or, I'm not really a black man. I'm a woman trapped in a man body. Or, nah, you're neither. You're not a man or a woman. You're tripping. Like, everybody living by the rules that they was taught to live by, and they enforcing them rules, and they telling other people, hey, you're fucking up. And, everybody doing what they supposed to do. But when everybody go home at night, they cry. They depressed. They're fucking miserable. And you know why? Because that bullshit ass, that fake ass way, that fake ass vision that you use to navigate society is not the truth. It may be the truth in society and in the world you was raised in, but in existence, that ain't the end all be all. And what's happening, mental health and depression happens when your false ideas of the world, when your inability to see life and the ideas that you use to make up for your inability to see life starts to crumble under the experience of you starting to notice that something ain't right. You can navigate this jungle of bullshit and tell yourself it ain't a jungle, it ain't this, it's because of this, it's that, it's that, it's that. But when you go to fucking bed at night, and this is usually when existential crises happen and people unalive themselves and shit gets really bad, because the person will start to, when they can no longer blame it on something physical, when they can't even blame it on themselves, when all the ideas crumble, and there's nothing left but you sitting here and really pretty much like you was when you were a baby. This is why a person that was depressed or feeling like unaliving themselves will tell you, God didn't save me, family didn't save me, because that's the end goal. That's pretty much what happens. People who still have, the ignorance is still strong enough. They can still cling on to these ideas, because it ain't about God being real or not, or family being good or not. But the people who can still cling on to these ideas and are still getting something from it, they tell you when you standing on that bridge looking down ready to jump, think about the kids, and you are thinking about your kids. Think about God, and you are thinking about God, or what you have been taught God is. But mind you, God isn't an idea. God is you, and you are God. Everything is God, spirit, universe, Allah. There is no separation. So they taught you about God through ignorance. They taught you about God while never fucking knowing God. So when you sit there and think about God, because all you know of God is a damn thought, so you like, God, that ain't working. Well, think about your job. That ain't working. Well, think about how poor you are. That ain't working. Well, think about how rich you are, because you're actually a multimillionaire. Don't take your life. That ain't working. No, when a motherfucker standing on the edge with that pill bottle in their hand, on the edge of that bridge, with that rope around their neck, when a motherfucker about to do that with that bullet in the chamber, when a motherfucker about to do that shit to theyself or somebody, ideas do not work. Beliefs don't mean shit. Beliefs and ideas only work for the blind who just haven't realized they're blind. When a motherfucker realize they don't know what the fuck going on, where am I, why do I feel so bad, what the fuck is going, why am I here, what is this? When you deprive a child, a baby, of that, when you keep him fucking blind instead of allowing him to see because of your fear and your own ignorance, because that's what somebody did to you, when you do not become intelligent and you birth children and you blind the kids for 30 years, 25 years of his life, if his motherfucking vision clears up, if his vision doesn't just clear up rapidly on his own, which it likely won't, if his ideas of what he thought was real comes crumbling down, somebody or himself is gonna get fucking hurt. Because in that moment, a person that's ready to commit will tell you nothing's there to save you. Not even yourself, because you don't know who you are, and they're right. And that's why I'm not here to give you more ideas. That's why they talk you down off the edge with ideas, because they don't have truth to speak from. The reason why men's mental health is everybody's mental health is because mental health is a part of the human condition. Ignorant humans who think human beings are separated and ignorant and they're just naturally separated think that, there isn't a one-size-fits-all solution for us humans mentally and emotionally, but there fucking is. Because on the most fundamental level, we are infinite. That's why the only way humanity can work is if humans find unity. But humans think unity won't exist because they think we can only find unity through physical shit. And we can never all have the same ideas, the same fucking sexuality, because we can change that. You can still pump if you put this up in here, a baby will come out. But we can call that a bunch of shit. I can call this a penis, or I can call it a stick, or I can call it a rock, or I can call it a woman. I can call this hole a vagina, or I can call it a cut, or I can call it a slice. But guess what? If you put that bitch and do this, and then that bitch go bust, we know a baby gonna happen. The universe, God, the truth doesn't give a fuck about none of that other shit. But that's the thing. The only way we can function as a society is if we learn who we are beyond all that other shit. We have to learn that the ideas are just ideas. That shit don't mean nothing. Do you know what it is, and do you know how to use it? And do you know when to use it? The answer is no for most people. That's all you need. That's the only thing you need. So because we think humans are separated, because we see ourselves as separate, we think mental health is a separate thing when it's really not. It's humans having the same problem, just manifest through different combinations of ignorance. You're not suffering because you're rich. You're not suffering because your woman don't talk to you. You're not suffering because you're poor. You're not suffering because men don't want to talk to you. You're suffering because you don't know how to not, because you don't understand suffering, because most people don't even know what the fuck's happening on the inside anyway. What's happening is that you're doing this to yourself mentally and emotionally, but you do not know it. And even if you did realize it, you wouldn't even, now that you, for one, you didn't know it. Now, if you do know it, you don't know how the fuck to stop. And that's what's going on with men. As a man, I want y'all to understand, bro, you're not a man. You're not a woman. You're not a fucking good. You're not rich. You're not poor. You're not a father, an uncle. You're not goddamn. You're not up and down. You're not left and right. You're not none of these ideas of things. You are a life. And the problem that you are having isn't that you need to find a woman or you need to get money. The problem is you just need to experience yourself. It's something that you've been longing to do since you were born. The problem is you were supposed to go on exploration as from a child. You were supposed to live your life, get a job, go, look both ways when you cross the street, be safe. You were supposed to go out there and do your shit, do your thing. But you was also supposed to have that curiosity beating in the back of your fucking heart all day. You was always supposed to, no matter how much you played, no matter how hard you played, no matter where you went, no matter who you hung out with, who you fell in love with, who broke your heart, how poor you was, how rich you was, no matter what happened, you was always supposed to have that knocking sensation in the back of your soul that just always stayed knocking. It was always the indicator, so you never lost your way. That's what we could call that's what they would call in religion. That's God. That was always the Lord knocking. You always seeking to realize yourself and as long as you hadn't done it, as long as you hadn't discovered yourself or realized who you really were beyond the ideas, no matter how deep you fell in the ideas, the knock was always supposed to be there, supposed to be knocking in the background. But what happened was they quieted that knock by putting bushes around it and telling you are the bushes. Then they put trees. And this tree, they call this, in yoga, they call this karma, which is just memory. Not good or bad, like stupid motherfuckers will tell you, but they call it memory. It's just memory. So much memory built up, and then they teach you to identify with the memory. Look at this, rich, poor. A man that look like this is a threat. A woman that look like this is bad. If he walk like this and talk like this, he like this. Survival. They teach you that surviving is to live. While that knocking sensation in deep in your soul is always trying to remind you can't live by just surviving. You have to know. You have to realize what you came here to realize. Don't forget. But see, so many plants, the forest of ignorance has grown so thick and so heavy that you don't even hear that knocking no more. You don't know the difference between that knocking in the bushes and a fucking and a perceived threat that don't even exist. You don't know that you're in this jungle creating all this shit, and you can't tell that you creating it because they blocked you from even fucking. You were supposed to grow up, and right when you got ready to look at the mind and be like, oh, my hands, oh, my fingers, oh, I can walk, oh, I can talk, okay, oh, my mind, I got a mind and emotions. Mama, I got them. Shut the fuck up. See how quick. See, right when you got ready to learn, right when you was about to start paying attention to the other parts of your body, the other stuff that's happening right here, not just the physical shit, right when you was finna get ready to look at that mind and emotions and learn how to use it the same way you learned how to use your hands and feet, that's when people told you, shut the fuck up, no, this how your mind work, this is what it mean to be happy, this is what it mean to be this, you're a man, and a man is this, you're a woman, and a woman do this, a woman don't do that, women fuck everything they meet, that's what you do as a woman, or if you grew up in another household, women don't do nothing, women don't eat, they don't sleep, they don't fuck, they do it up, they die, they have babies and die, like it don't even matter, They tell you, they crowd you with ignorance, shut out that curiosity, and they basically dump you in a forest of fuck shit and tell you to find your way home. And the only thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna find your way back and do what you came here to do, so that you can actually start to live for real. Or you're gonna implode under your own ignorance, and nothing's gonna make sense, and things are gonna get very fucking weird and very insane, and shit's gonna become very much overwhelming. And then you know what happens next: mental health, depression, anxiety, click clack, pow, it's over. You feel me? So yeah, brother, as a man, I want to tell y'all this. You're not a man. You're not rich, you're not poor, you're not good, you're not nothing. You're life. And the only thing you need to do to solve this problem, you don't need to go to the gym, you don't need to fucking talk to nobody, you don't need to do nothing. You don't need to be alone, you don't need to mingle, you don't need to be social, you don't need to fucking be isolated, you don't need to be rich or poor, you don't need to help nobody or be mean, you don't need to be nice or sweet, you don't need to do nothing. You just need to keep doing what you're doing, and you need to realize who you are beyond your ideas of yourself. You need to figure out who the fuck was Chris, who was Josh, who was Anthony, who was Tyler, who was Taylor, you know what I'm saying? Who was Smith, who was Carl, who was Josh, who was this person before the ideas of this person? Who am I before this body and before this mind? And once you start bringing clarity into the situation, you don't need to believe me. I'm not trying to tell you who you are. I'm telling you this so that my words can connect a little better, and I can inspire you to go within yourself and actually do it. But I don't have to tell you who you are. I shouldn't. That's not my place. You shouldn't believe me or trust me. You want to know if this shit is true, if it inspires you? I'm telling you, all you need to do is bring clarity into your perception. When clarity is brought, all the problems fade away. When you can see a laptop, to an old person, this iPhone is the biggest problem in the world. But if you can see the iPhone clear enough, operating it, the problems in what you've been doing become obvious. If you see what you're doing wrong, the solution to fix it is clear, right? The problem is you cannot see what's wrong with your mind and emotions. You can't see what's wrong with the body and what you're doing with it because you don't see yourself beyond the body. How can you solve a maze if you still only see yourself as the person in the maze? It's gonna take a long time and you might dome yourself before you get to the end. Let's be real. Click, clack, pow. But if you transcend, if you elevate above the maze, what you are doing wrong becomes clear instantly. If you transcend the body and identity, remove your identity from ideas, from black, from white, from man, from woman, from rich, from poor, from American, from Indian, from Canadian, from Irish, from a provider, from an uncle, from a father, from a husband, from a good daddy, from a bad daddy, from whatever the fuck. Remove your identity from these ideas. And in that moment, you say, well, who the fuck am I, Farad? If I'm not any of that stuff, who am I? Shh. Stay curious. That's first step number one. Is feeling that feeling of, I'm lost, dude. I don't know who I am. I'm scared. Breathe. Breathe like a motherfucker. You have to breathe. Take deep breaths, pranayama. Bring your attention back to the life process that'll always make sure that you're intelligent and conscious. Breathing is that's like the pinnacle of getting shit straight first. Breathe. Once you calm down, you're now curious as fuck about who am I. You're scared as fuck because you're like, man, listen, fam, if I'm not this type of man with these rules and these principles, and if this set of like ideas and standards and things that I done created, these principles, these morals, this religion, the way I interpret this religion, if all of this shit is not who I am, then I don't know who am I. And that's some scary shit. Sit with that. Be curious. Go back to how you were as a baby. You didn't know, but you were looking. So go back to not knowing, looking. Now, instead of looking in the places that they tell you, try to find your fulfillment in a wife, in a husband, in kids, in money, in poverty, in politics, in gardening, in this, in that. Sit. What you need to do, big dog, you need to sit down. And you need to sit just like this. Put your left leg right between your crotch. Put your right leg flat on the floor in front of that. Put your hands facing up on your palm. Straighten your back. Put your chin parallel to the floor. And I want you to put your concentration between your eyebrows and your attention on your breath. And I want you to breathe. Take 3 deep breaths to calm down. And after you take them 3 deep breaths and calm down, just breathe in your nose, out your nose, slowly. If your attention shifts from your breathing to your thoughts, just bring it back. Don't worry about your thoughts. Don't think, if you think about poverty, if your heart starts beating fast, keep breathing, focus on your breathing. That's not real, it's not happening, it's just a thought. If you think about death, it's just a thought. If you think about anything, it's just a thought. A thought is just a thought until you charge it up with emotions. It's okay. And you keep bringing your attention back to your breath. And you do that practice every day. 10 minutes a day. Just sit for 10 minutes. And you do that for 30 days if you want to test it out. If you believe what I'm saying, I want you to do it for 3 months. Do it to the end of the year. 10 minutes a day. Please don't miss a day. If you miss a day, you have to start over. You have to commit. Do it daily. 3 months. Document how your mind and emotions, like how your document your ability to use your mind and emotions. Like, my mind is causing me hell, my emotions fucked up on day 1, okay? I want you to come back on if you're doing 30 days, day 30. If you're doing 90 days, come back on day 90. And I want you to look at your mind and emotions now. And look at how you'll notice great changes in your ability to use them. I promise you. And when your identity starts to slowly go beyond your mind and body, you start to see the mind and body clearly. And when you start to see the mind and body clearly, you start to be able to use them better. When you start to use the mind and body better, your material circumstances start to flow a little differently because your physical life follows you. Whatever you predominantly keep on your mind and you predominantly keep in your emotions or your energies, as your heart, that is the physical life you'll be forced to live. There's lots of good men in the world. I'm one of them. I'm not a cheater. I bet you y'all can probably assume I'm married right now. Like, yeah, I bet y'all can assume like probably being my wife is like the best shit that a position a woman could probably ever want to be in. But understand, it's a lot of guys like me in the world. A lot of women like my wife in the world. But you notice how one man, one woman can say all men ain't shit. And they're not lying. The last 5 guys they dealt with were nothing but shit. The last 5 women he dealt with Let me see. Test it. The last 5 women that he dealt with were nothing but shit. But see, people ignorantly think that the things that they see are objective truths, but they don't understand the physical circumstances that they face are nothing but things there to prove the things they already know to be true in their heart. The reason you only run into ain't shit men is because you know in your heart men ain't shit. The reason you only run into ain't shit women is because you know in your heart that women ain't shit. The reason why it's hard for you as a black man to get ahead because you know in your heart that a black man has it hard. The reason why you succeed as a byproduct of white privilege is because you know in your heart that you succeed because of white privilege. The reason why you as a white man know that I didn't succeed because of white privilege. The reason that's true is because you know in your heart that it didn't happen. The things you know in your heart to be true are the things that are true. I'm an unlucky person. That person is very unlucky. Look at his life. He is the validation. His life is the proof. But that's because life is infinite and the truth is infinite. That's why everybody can live a different truth at the same time. And that is why everybody's truth is valid. Not because there is one truth or there isn't one truth. Not because there is one objective material truth, but because there is one objective truth, and that truth is the infinite. And on the canvas of that infinite, on the canvas of the infinite, the infinite canvas, everyone can project whatever reality they desire. It could be a world full of good men, you won't get nothing. It's so much money flying through the world. There's so much money in the world. There's so much paper. We could print more and more and more. There's so much fucking money in the world. Nobody and so many people don't have any. Think about this shit. It's like standing in a football field full of bullets. There's people lined up around the whole field. And it's 100,000 people in the center. And bullets is flying. They just spraying bullets all across the field. And you see a few people. Like, all these bullets flying. And you see a whole bunch of people not getting hit. You probably would assume there's something more fucking mystical going on as it relates to those people. Before you would probably assume, hey, something wrong with them shooters. Nah, because you know how science works. But see, we're talking about the science of life here. We're talking about logic built off premises that go beyond whatever the fuck the average person that talk about mental health and talked about with you. So yeah, of course it probably wouldn't be that obvious. But yeah, it's an astonishing thing. You live in a world where you live in an existence where anything that you fucking so choose can happen. But there's so many people living a life of bondage. But they live a life of bondage. Why? Because they know that they're trapped. And the only thing that can either free them is if they randomly start having an idea of freedom. Like, they're not free, but they have some idea that they've latched onto. Well, I'm free because I got 100K in my bank account and nothing can change. If he latch on to that shit enough and that money don't go nowhere, that motherfucker actually pull himself out of whatever situation he in because he really believe, he know in his heart, I am free because I'm fucking free. Fuck what you talk about. Like, yeah. But it's either he latches on to another idea and somehow manages to ignorantly make his way to freedom, and he think it's freedom because the freedom is somehow tied to physical circumstances and shit, physical stuff. Like, oh, I'm free because they passed this law, and then his life started changing, and he write a book telling everybody, see, the reason we got to keep passing these kind of laws is because that's how I got free. I mean, he is free, but he thinks he's free because of that physical thing. But it's only because he doesn't know that he's only free because he had the fucking power to free himself or trap himself. But he sees himself as finite, so he's wielding such a fucking power without knowing it. He's wielding the power to limit himself or give himself unlimited freedom without knowing it. So he naturally grows up in a world where people limit themselves and see themselves as limited. So he thinks that he's limited just because that's the way life is. I'm just, everything don't go like this. It can happen to anybody. Fuck you. I'll be quick to tell people that shit will never happen to me. I am safe. Oh, no, your wife could cheat. My wife is faithful. Well, you just saying that. Well, I'm saying it because it's true. She ain't cheating right now. You don't know that. You right. And I walk in the room and look at her. Nope, not cheating. But people think that's delusional. But that's really how life works. Because we live in a world where ignorance is truth. And truth is ignorance. That's why when I speak the truth, they say, oh, you got to be delusional. Oh, you must manifesting. Yeah, they think the truth is some fucking wonky shit. And some actual bullshit. Some actual bullshit. This shit. Actual literal crime. Literal bullshit is somehow the truth. Crazy. Good things happen to bad people because bad people in their heart know that they can do bad. Because what they see they do, it ain't bad. To them, it ain't bad. To them, it's like, I know I can do that and win.